Welcome to Everton Football Club live on stage in New York City! What an incredible time it is to be together to celebrate the singular collective joy of being an Evertonian. We're here at this time of footballing metamorphosis. We commune here today, standing between the sepia-tinged wonder of Goodison Park and the golden promise of a brand new stadium poised between what we were, what we are. It's really a reclamation of our true self. We have new owners. We have a new old manager. Just say, God bless you, St. David Moyes. Honestly, when I look at him, I get the same vibe I do when I look at the new Pope. It's genuinely like the world is hanging on by a string. I'm pretty sure it's just the Pope and David Moyes that are keeping us together. A man whose return energised that back half of last season, 31 points from 19 games. And now we're poised to teleport from grand old home to brand new home. First, let's hear it for that delirious beauty of a place that is Goodison Park. That magical shrine to collective memory. The 1878's doing us so proud, the tifos flying. Spirit of the Blues bellowing. I went to the second to last game there, the Ipswich one. I was sat by two Blues who both come alone on single tickets because they just wanted to commune. They just wanted to take in the moment. And I've got to be candid. I totally understood. And when grand old team came on before kickoff, I was sat by a woman who was by me, and she just started to sob. A reaction I totally understood. And the fan buyer, again, a total stranger, just put his arm around her, gave her a consoling hug, and he shouted, "What are you crying for, girl? We haven't even lost yet." And now the Hill Dickinson awaits with its Everton. Oh, God, the South Stand. Almost. Look at it. I got to tell you, I don't have vertigo, but that stresses me the F out. 53,000 Royal Blue seats, some wind, rainwater-powered sustainability. I've got to say, the outside, the history of the entire city of Liverpool as a port place of wonder is baked deliciously into the details. And the all-important 747 toilets, but who's counting? And of course, the blue hot dog sauce. Blue hot dog ketchup. You'll never sing that. Stadium architect Dan Meese is here tonight. Let's hear it for Dan Meese. What an incredible palace. What an incredible palace he's made real. I've been there. I've taken it in with my own eyes. It is the promised land. And we've earned this. We have earned this. A chance to transform ourselves. A bit like, don't like to be hyperbolic, but like Bruce Banner walking into the laboratory and emerging as the Incredible Hulk. Because like many of you, I have seen Everton beauty. I have seen Everton glory. I've seen it with my own eyes. The Howard Kendall title wins. FA Cup finals won by right. European trophy winners. Our eyes have seen the glory together, but we also know life is not lived in a straight line. We have shared traumas. 3 years of points deductions, relegation battles, uncertainty, chaos, a decade lived, honestly, by Charles Bukowski's quote, "Find what you love and let it kill you." Seasons in which we survive by the skin of our teeth, survive with the passion and the humour and fighting spirit. We raise German shepherds into the skies. The bolt cutters. The balls stuffed up pink sweatshirts to kill time. By the way, that man is a hero. How he's not offered a knighthood that he would reject, I do not know. But through it all, the most important part of it, we Blues have always found joy in togetherness, even in the hardest of times. And it's those times I honestly believe in life. You see the true measure of people in hard times, the truth of people, which is why I'm so bloody proud to be an Evertonian. I will say, I think it's my greatest act of parenting. My wife would say it's your single act of parenting to make all 4 children of mine proper hardcore Blues. As my late dad, my dad made me a Blue, and it's those values that the club embodies that honestly make me proudest to be an Evertonian. Endeavour, loyalty, tenacity, and passion, all of which transcend football in every regard. For me, Everton are less a club. They're a way of viewing life, approaching life. In a world in which honour counts more than glory, moments of joy, and all of you have done this. We have seized them and we've danced as if we were at our own kid's wedding. So tonight is, I hope, a celebration of all of it. That's what I hope tonight is, with the figures who've made it real. The club wanted to celebrate with you. There's a lot of travelling Scousers over here tonight, right? It's incredible. It is incredible to be with you. There's a lot of human beings who've travelled from all across America to be here tonight. If you're here from across America, can you just tell the Scousers you're here? And the club offered us a chance to commune together as strangers. They've offered us a chance to pick which players and which manager. I had to think very carefully about that one. I wanted to speak to. And so tonight, let's raise my first Michelob Ultra of the night to being together, celebrating all that connects us, and not taking a second of it for granted. And before we dive in, I do want to thank, in all sincerity, the people who made this possible tonight, because it means a ton to me. I'm trying to keep my crap together. I want to thank everyone at Christopher Ward Watches. They are the official timing partner, both the Men in Blazers Media Network and Everton Football Club. God bless the Goodison Watch. I'll just say, I do love this brand naturally for the quality of their craft, their creativity, but their deep connections, not just to Everton, but of the city of Liverpool. They're Everton's sleeve sponsor, founding partner of the new stadium. They support the Everton women, Everton in the community. The founder and the CEO, Mike France, is proper Merseyside, proper Blue. I've loved that man. First time I spoke to him, it was like, boom, we'd known each other our whole lives. And Christopher Ward is now storming America. They deserve to. I love their support, the club I love. I'm grateful to them for making tonight possible. Thank you. All right, let's do this. Our first guest tonight is a gentleman who demonstrates, honestly, I think all we love in a footballer. He's the fight at the heart of the club. He's a leader who gives his all. He's honestly a bare-knuckle brawler of a player. He led the team in tackles, blocks and clearances. He's also the man. I don't know if you know this. He scored the last ever men's goal under the nighttime floodlights at Goodison Park. I know you're all excited because he's the real star of Married to the Game, but it's an incredible joy to welcome. Let's hear it for Mr. James Tarkowski. James, it's going to be a long night.
That was some welcome, that, wasn't it?
James Tarkowski in New York City. James, I want to start at the beginning, or at least the beginning of James Tarkowski, the Everton era. July 2022, you arrived from Burnley. There are other Premier League clubs who were desperate to bring you in, but when you signed, you said this. You said that then manager Frank Lampard, quote, saw your character and saw your leadership skills. James, I want to know, when did you learn to be a leader? And how would you describe the quite singular taught leadership style?
I'm still learning to be a leader now, I would say. I think some of my attributes are I like to talk a lot, quite mouthy. But yeah, I like to be involved. I like to be in charge. I'm always playing understudy to Séamus because he's really in charge. I'm the Robin to his Batman. But yeah, I'm still learning. I'm learning from the best with Séamus. So it's something I enjoy, leading, talking, and getting to wear the armband when I can. It's always a pleasure. So I've been very, 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 very fortunate.
I want to talk about last season. And we have to talk about the first half of last season first. Just 3 wins out of those first 19 games. 11 of them goalless. What does it feel like for a footballer, a deep competitor, when you're in that slog, the mire? Goals are not going in. The points are hard to find. And every game just feels like it's a battle of the bastards.
Well, I think you can tell, first of all, from that picture you just put when I signed to the way I look now, I've definitely aged a few years. There's a fair amount of greys in my hair. It's been tough at times, it has. Everyone knows the difficulty that the club's been through in recent seasons, especially since I've joined. And yeah, last season was one of them again at the start. But it's down to people like myself, Séamus, Jordan, Garner, Dukes, people like that last year to really step up and drag the team through it because it's difficult times. And thankfully, come the end of the season, we've finished in a much more positive position than when we started.
That is an understatement. Because in January, I want to talk about it, the transformation. I don't like to be hyperbolic, James. But it was honestly, it was almost wholly religious.
Are you sure?
It was. I mean, it was the second coming of David Moyes. It is like quasi-religious. And I don't know how well you knew David Moyes before the resurrection went down. But take us there. The first time you met him, do you remember that? Like that first meeting? Do you remember the first thing he said to you?
Not to me personally. The first thing I remember as a team was he was saying he wasn't here to fight relegation. He knew where we were at the time and that he was going to drag us out of it, but he's not joined this football club to be at the bottom end of the table. And he let us know that from the off. So we knew what we were in for straight away.
I mean, that was the real moment of transformation. It was like the radioactive spider bite that gave this team the power to win again. You were on the field. We just watched it. It was incredible to see that back half of the season play out game after game, the 9-game unbeaten run. In your experience on the field, what changed?
I never really felt we were too far away before the manager changed, but it was obvious that a change needed to come. Very minor tweaks, which I think the manager admitted he didn't change everything. At the time, we were defending quite well, just not scoring enough goals. And he managed to find a way to make us score goals, and that was a big point of his from the off, is we need to find a way to put the ball in the back of the net, whether that was going to be set pieces, open play, whatever it might be. And people stepped up and were counted, and goals came from everywhere, not just one singular player.
Yeah, I mean, that change allowed us to carry a little bit of belief. I wasn't going to mention this, but you know what? I'll bring it up. The final derby at Goodison Park. I was there. So many of you were there under the floodlights. It was just the most crackling, passion-soaked pre-match atmosphere. Oh, my king, Beto, scored. I say, you can't beat perfection. But then Liverpool took the lead, and then just darkness. It felt like they were cruising to a 2-1 win on our patch in the last game, the last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park, and then enter the Sandman. Enter the 98th minute. I mean, this was less football, James. This was like footballers' Norse mythology. It's time. Let's do this. Let's savour the moment again with the man who unleashed the hammer of the gods. When did you last see that goal?
About 5 minutes ago.
I mean, to me, that goal left me with a pair of smash glasses. By the way, can I just tell you, to be punched in the face by a fellow Everton fan in a moment of like sheer ecstasy is the single greatest punch in the face of all time. Serious question about that goal. Talk, how many babies do you think will be born in Liverpool this November and named Tarky? God, by the way, this goal was so smoking. Look what it's done to the stage. It genuinely suddenly feels like we're at a Metallica concert. And I kind of love it. When you watch it now, what emotions do you experience, James?
Still put sort of the hairs on the back of my neck stand up a little bit. Jokingly, I've probably not seen it in about a month or so. The night it happened, I probably watched it about 1,000 times.
I was with you the day after at Finch Farm. We were like a bunch of everyone there. It was like kids. Everyone was.
You can see there I've not slept. That's the face of a man who watched his goal 1,000 times in one night.
By the way, it wasn't even my goal, and I'd watched it 5,000 times. I mean, we sat there in that interview and kind of laughed our way through it. We were like, everyone at Finch Farm was like kids. You were all elite professional footballers. But you told me you'd watched it 1,000 times, you'd gone to sleep a little bit, you'd woken up, and you'd watched it some more. How many times have you thought about that goal since? There's a moment where you're just like, done, pass, repressed, done.
It's impossible to forget about it because anyone who knows Everton, anytime they see me, it's the only question they ask me anymore.
Look at that tongue out like Manchester Michael Jordan. By the way, I once met Graham Sharp's brother in a pub, and we were laughing about James, the wonder goal that Sharpie scored against Liverpool in 1984, and he just picked up his cell phone. It was his phone lock screen. Do you have your goal as your phone lock screen, Tarky?
No, impossible. I'd get divorced if I had that as my phone lock screen.
When I saw that goal that night through smashed glasses, Jordan Pickford knee sliding across the pitch like a Sunderland Roomba. Beto going on his solo lap of glory. Fans staying behind to sing forever. This was proper Everton. This was a proper Everton moment, a team that refuses to die, refuses to be beaten. I mean, that's the classic Everton that we all grew up with. At the same time, to be candid, that goal earned Everton a solitary point. I mean, we won 1-1, we won 2-2, you know what I mean? But it did mean so much more, Tark. Can you talk about the way it kind of galvanised everybody?
I think, as I mentioned earlier, the club felt a bit broken at times, and that maybe that one moment just felt like a real moment of where everyone united together, and maybe like a turning point in what had been a tough few years to a more positive moment. So hopefully that's part of this positive trajectory we're going on now, and moving into the new stadium, and only way is up from here, hopefully.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing to say. David Moyes said something incredible in the wake of that game. He was asked if he was worried that the game would bring Everton back down to earth. And he said this, he said, over recent years, everyone's brought Everton down to earth. He said, so why don't we keep Everton? This was his quote, Everton high for a change. Which is, he's so good at that, David Moyes. it's an incredible statement. James, we're sitting here, in Moyes' words, on an Everton high. As you say, new owners, new stadium, building filled with hope. What does it feel like to think about this future? And what is your message to Everton fans about all that is to come?
I think we should all be excited together. End of last season was obviously sad for a lot of people, leaving Goodison. But for me, it's a real moment of let's take this club in a new direction. Let's go back to where we have been in previous times and start looking at the positives and bringing people together, winning football matches and being successful.
James is going to stay with us, but I do want to say, I want to thank you for everything you've done for Everton Football Club. All you do, you are like the sword and the shield. You're a hero in the mould of so many great Everton central defenders, Mick Lyons, Kevin Ratcliffe, Dave Watson, Phil Jagielka. Human beings who, all of them, make playing around them more tenacious. New York City, give it up for Mr. James Tarkowski. We're going to bring on a gent. We just had to listen to the guy who struck the last Goodison nighttime goal. We're going to bring on the poet who scored the last goal of all at Goodison Park, a Senegalese maverick creator. Honestly, a surrealist footballer, a gentleman whose story is incredibly inspirational. He's risen from a National League Academy team. He's now a Premier League phenom. Last year he led our boys with 11 goals, all comps. But what goals? Each one a miniature avant-garde manifestation of the joy and freedom he brings to the field every minute. I have not seen a player who is so thrillingly skill-soaked play for our boys in a long, long time. So New York City, please give a great welcome to Mr. Iliman Ndiaye! Oh, Illy, welcome to New York City, mate.
Thank you very much.
Can I just say, I love watching you play football. When you get on the ball, everybody here leans forward in their seat because it is a sign that something magic's about to happen. The last ever game at Goodison Park, we were desperate for a party that day. Southampton are playing us. It's 0-0 until the 28th minute, and you did this. Ellie, what goes through your mind when you pick that ball up on the edge of the box? Are you just like, how can I create joy?
It just came a bit natural, really. I think everyone knows my type of play. So as soon as the ball just landed in front of me, I knew where the goal was. I just went direct, just shot with my left foot and it went in. Simple.
Listen, this is like speaking to Einstein and asking him how he does equations. He's just like, just do them. I just do them. It's that simple. But Todd, you see this man every day in training. You have to defend against this man every day. What's your experience of handling those skills?
Not enjoyable. Every time I watch him turn his hips and move and twist, it makes me question how I've become a footballer. He's a special player, and we really appreciate how good he's been for us so far, and I think he's only going to get better. Last season he was amazing for us, and hopefully another big one this year.
Thank you.
Iliman, I want to go back to the beginning of your story. You're born in northern France, and your family say that when you were 1 year old, you just started kicking everything in sight. Your granddad saved everybody's shins. He gave you your first football. And then your dad is a choreographer. He was a dancer, and he taught you how to dance. Can you talk about how your father's dance moves have influenced your game?
Yeah, that's where I get my twist and turning from. Just because he basically taught me everything I know, And he would just show me like the dance move that he would do, and he would just tell me to do it with the ball. So that's how I got the moves.
So that's it. When you're on the ball, it is genuinely. It's like dance,
Dancing.
Billy dance. Your journey to Everton, we're laughing, but it has been so bloody hard. You moved from France to Senegal, then on to England. You arrived 14 years of age. We were talking before. You said you knew one word of English. And what was the one word?
Rainbow.
Almost. In the mythology, just put that in on Wikipedia. He spoke one word, and that one word was Everton, and it was manifested. what was the one word?
It was just rainbow.
God bless. When I found that out, I was like, of course, Iliman Ndiaye's one English word was rainbow, a thing of unbelievable natural beauty. But although football was a constant in your life, you trialled with half a dozen teams: Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Spurs. All of them said no. One of the clubs even told your dad you, quote, would never be a football player. But you kept grinding away. Age 16, you joined the academy at Boreham Wood. Look at that. You've not changed a day. National League, 5th tier of English football. And Iliman Ndiaye simply proceeded to grab the world's attention by doing this. Not a lot of sound on this, but watch this. Nine players. "16 years of age, you beat 9 opponents, then casually rolled it home." Iliman, what did that feel like, that goal? Was it like vindication?
What does that mean?
Did it just feel amazing?
No, it did. Obviously, I've trained my whole life, or since I was young, to be able to score goals like this. So now when I do that, that's kind of my signature goals. So yeah, it feels amazing doing that.
It is one of your signature goals, because everything then happened at speed. You moved to Sheffield United, Marseille, and then last July 3rd, a date, look at that. By the way, July 3rd, I celebrate in my house like it's one of my children's birthdays. You signed for Everton Football Club, and almost immediately against Leicester, you did this. It's your first Premier League goal. When you slid into that corner flag in celebration, what does that feel like?
It was amazing. I don't have the words for it. I've been waiting my whole life for this moment, and obviously it was amazing to do it with Everton. So yeah, it just felt amazing.
Todd, what's it like for you to watch when you see him pick up the ball deep and it feels like there's no danger at all because he's trapped on the wing, but the way he sees space and burst into it, it's electric, and just suddenly danger?
Makes me feel grateful that he's on my team and not the other team. No, the amount of times that we roll the ball into his feet and he manages to wriggle away from 1, 2, 3 defenders, and before you know it, we're on the edge of their box attacking. He's done it. He did it all last season for us, and created many chances and scored plenty of goals. For someone who played out on the left, he scored quite a few goals for us. So very important goals as well with that.
Let's look at another one, because I love the moment the ball comes to your feet. All of us know what's happening. Let's look at this moment against Spurs. You take the ball on the hop.
I like this interview. I'm just describing my goals.
You take the ball on the halfway line, and suddenly the entire defence is backing up like Walter Goggins' hairline. Well, when you get that ball in, you're in your own half. You got the entire field in front of you. Honestly, Ellie, what goes through your mind?
Again, just seen the goal from there. As soon as Idrissa passed me the ball, I just swung directions to the goal, and then the dance move came in. The step over to there, go with my left foot.
Do you actually think about what you're doing, or is it all just muscle memory taking over?
No, I do think about it, but I kind of think it like so quick, like because like you don't really have time to think. Obviously, on that goal, I had the time to think about it and the space to do it. And he was just backing off. So I was like, all right, just kept going, and like I don't really have time to think, but I think quickly.
When you look back at your own highlights, do you know it's you doing that, or you're like looking at it going, "Oh my god, that guy is amazing"?
Listen, my wife has enough of me because every time I go home, I just look at the goals I scored like a million times. She just says, "Get off your phone, get off your TV." But no, yeah, I enjoy watching myself score these goals.
Tark, can I just say, as the scorer of great Everton goals yourself, which is how we think about you, how would you describe the play of Iliman Ndiaye in your own words?
Yeah, that's the simple answer. Agile, creative, quick, strong, and now goal scorer, as you can see there. I've been here 3 years, I had one highlight. He's been here 1 year and he's had about 10 highlights.
I wish we could play them all, but I've got time for one more highlight.
Is it one of mine?
One more.
One of my highlights or one of his again?
Oh. Should we show the 98th minute in the Anfield Derby? Oh, we should show that again. We'll show that again in a minute. It'd be very, very nice. We'll do the Kendrick Lamar cut. That was pretty tasty. One more really highlight, because I love it. Let's take a look at you from the penalty spot against Brighton and Hove Albion. I gotta say, that was like, I watched that, I was like, oh my god, that is black belt housery. you're like a Senegalese Jamie Vardy. Where did that come from?
I have no idea. Usually I'm not like that. I just go and do my celebration, but
you're not that guy.
No, I'm not that guy. No, but shout out to Jared as well, Jared, because we were supposed to do it together, but I just ran off and did it myself. No, yeah.
He left you on your own?
Yeah, I just went on my own, just did it quickly. Didn't think I'd get booked for it. So I thought it was just a bit of fun, but...
Did you know, have you seen that side of Illy before? Is it like an Illy off the field and an Illy on the field, like a switch flicks?
I've not seen it very often. I actually didn't know he even got booked in that game. I didn't even see it. I don't watch penalties, so I faced the other way. So once it went in, I just walked back to the into my own half, and I just realised later on that he got booked.
As great as those clips were, there's one moment of yours that I love even more. It's one that your wife shared of you, sitting in your car. After the 2-0 win against Ipswich, there you are, singing the song that the Everton fans love to regale you with. Let's take a look.
To Bradley Moore, magic is the one that we adore. Ole, ole.
Magic is the... Can I say, when I saw that, I loved it for what it was, but also knowing your story, Illy, the journey you've been through, the rejection, and now the adoration of all of these fans. Can you point towards how it feels to be at Everton, to hear your name sung out by thousands? I guess it, like to be loved and also to love.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Obviously, I've always said, like, on the pitch, if you have a good connection with, if you have a good connection with the fans, then it makes it easier for you to perform on the pitch, you know. For them, obviously, it's for you, for your family, but it's also for them. Obviously, they make the football club. But yeah, I've enjoyed playing on the fans of Everton.
You mentioned your family. I will say you will forever be part of this club's history now after scoring not just the last one, but the last 2 men's goals ever at Goodison Park. But you walked out with your 3 daughters that day. And it was a beautiful Instagram post. You wrote, "I'm not just chasing victory, I'm chasing a legacy my daughters can be proud of." Illy, when you say that, what legacy do you want to leave?
Don't know how to explain it. Yeah, no, of course. Obviously, coming to Everton, I just didn't want to just, come here, play, and then go, Obviously, you want to, when people talk about you, like you've left something at the club, for them, and just try and take the club as far as I can.
I can't wait to watch how far you can take this club. I do want to raise my glass to you. I mean, you create poetry. It is watching you. There's an artist who painted a bit like you play football, Edgar Degas, who said, "Art is not what you see, it's what you make others see." And Iliman, I've got to say, you make us all see such beauty, to feel such beauty. Long may it continue. New York City, can we hear it from Mr. Iliman Ndiaye? Next guest has been a gent who's been the heart and soul of this football club for 17 long years. I don't know if you've heard this about him. He was signed for 60 grand from Sligo Rovers. 16 seasons, 428 matches later.
Very good.
You don't even know who I'm bringing up yet. It might be Miko. You never know. I love this gent. He's defined himself as one of the rare footballers who, for reals, loves the club as much as the fans love the club. And I'm so unbelievably happy that he will be with us for a 17th season. New York City, please help me welcome the pride of Killybegs. It's Mr. Séamus Coleman. Séamus Coleman, welcome to New York bloody City. It's incredible to say those words. It's a special city, both to the nation of your birth, Ireland, and to your adopted home city in Liverpool. How much do you love coming to America? What's the best thing you've seen, eaten, or done since you arrived?
No, it's been great. I love it here, to be honest. I've been here a few times with my family, with my kids and all the rest. Absolutely love it. And no, it's been great in our free time. Like myself and Tarky just getting out and getting for a coffee and just feeling the atmosphere. It's been great. And obviously, Everton have always had that connection with Tim Howard and Landon and stuff like that. So a lot of Evertonians on the streets too.
A lot of Evertonians on the streets, especially today. Ellie, just tell them what you did today, because it's kind of mind-blowing what you did at Central Park. You and Ghana.
It's got a big shot.
No, I just went on the the bikes with the thing at the back. What's it called?
On the rickshaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, just around Central Park.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine that? Bit of rickshaw driver pulling Illy, and it's like, and Ghana is like mind blowing. You are pulling two national treasures along on the streets of New York City. When I heard that, I was like, my God, the club's insurance has got to be outstanding. But Seamus, as you've heard tonight, everyone's singing your song. Your arrival at Everton is the stuff of legend in our lifetime. It really, really is. You arrived 17 years ago. Look at that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Talkie, what are you laughing at?
That's the last time I ever fucking wore red as well.
Talkie, what are you laughing at?
He looks absolutely delighted to sign for the club there, doesn't he?
Honestly, that picture was taken 2 minutes after I've just met Jimmy Martin, the old kit man. Bear in mind, I'm homesick. I didn't want to leave home. I was a young lad, and he absolutely battered me for the clothes I was wearing. So that's why I'm not smiling.
The face is just like, F you too. I'm not staying here very long, I promise you. I'm out of here at the first opportunity. Look, I mean, those were more innocent days. You're the only player left now who remembers David Moyes' first stretch as Everton manager. So I'm genuinely interested. What was the club like then, and how much has it changed to how it is now?
I mean, it's changed a lot, obviously, over the years. The Premier League and everything has got so much bigger and all the rest. But yeah, listen, I came into a very tough school. He was a tough manager, someone that it was very hard to get a tap in the back from. But in a way, he probably shaped me as an Everton player from them early years. The way I seen him manage Everton is what I expected an Everton player to be. So it's been hard over the years. Generations have changed, but I've always tried to, treat Everton like David Moyes kind of taught me how it should be. So I've kind of used his principles a lot over the years. And yeah, it's funny how it goes around and he comes back and he's a gaffer again.
Well, what's the most important thing you've learned from him? You say he's shaped your career. What's the most important life lesson that he's taught you?
I mean, like, he's a stickler for the basics, timekeeping, give it your all. But, for me, I've said it, in the media not so long ago, he's moved on, he's went to different clubs and that. But for me, I've always seen him as an Everton manager, and to have him back, and even just in the short time he's been back, his attention to detail, for me, I've said it as well, we've got a manager in charge of the football club that wants success equally as much as the fans or the players do. He cares about Everton Football Club.
Has age mellowed him at all?
Has age mellowed him at all, do you reckon? Well, you only see him now, but I would say yeah, but he's still got that fire, like he's still got that bite that you wouldn't want to get in the wrong side of. But he was maybe I've matured, but he was a lot scarier when I was younger than he is now.
So he was at 100 and now he's at 99.
I think so, yeah.
Can you do the same for yourself? What were you like as a player and a person when we saw you there? Nearly half your life ago, 17 years ago. And how have you changed?
Yeah, I've changed a lot. I was quiet as a mouse. I didn't speak till I was spoken to. Stickler for kind of trying to earn my stripes and not get too carried away with myself. And just as the years went on, I've, slowly but surely been kind of maturing and being the longest player there. So I've kind of grown into that leadership role. Obviously, I've had some great lads come and go along the way, and one of them sitting across the table, and Jordan Pickford, and all these lads that have helped me along the way with being a leader,
I mean, you may have been quiet as a mouse, but I got to say, your play spoke loudly. You made an instant impact. I remember your debut, December 2009 against Spurs. You came onto the field as a substitute, turned that game around. I think you had a hand in both goals. You were man of the match. And you've since become one of the coolest constants of the club. You've almost become its calm centre, its beating heart, its captain. And one of the things that you're known for is reaching out to new players, young players, when they join the club. I mean, James, you've said the moment you signed, first thing you heard from was Séamus texting it.
Yeah, strange, I just met him on holiday about a few weeks before, but once it was all officially signed, just got a message through my phone just telling me to be myself, be the person I am and the footballer I am, and I'll fit right in. And just to have someone to look up to like Séamus. We're also fortunate, and he's loved by everyone who comes across him, because he's such an incredible man.
When you do that, when you step in, when you're almost like an ambassador for the club to new signings, what do you tell young players about the club that they need to understand?
I think when people sign for Everton, I think, maybe in the last few years they've seen Everton, where maybe I've not been used to in the first couple of years of my time here, but we've seen Everton as, 10th, 11th, 12th, and in the last few years a bit lower. But when you sign for the club and you get to understand the fans, and if you're not performing, they'll let you know. So I think people don't realise the size of the club until they're actually there, and it's just about trying to help people understand that, understand that Everton Football Club is, people's life, and it is that extreme. It's not, them last 3 years when we were struggling, you're talking about me being the cam centre, I most certainly was, and I was the most nervous man in Liverpool, But they care so much about their club, and you try and relay that to the players. And honest to God, not because these boys are sitting beside me, but I think in time it will go unnoticed maybe how close we came, to the dreaded drop over the last few years. But it's very hard to say it when you've just stayed above relegation zone. But see, the last 3 or 4 years, the players that we've had in that dressing room, some of the we've had to take, rightly so, because of where we are. But that group of players over the last 3 or 4 years, the way we stuck together when other teams would have, faltered, we stuck together, and hopefully that group will see a brighter future,
I mean, you may have said you were quiet as a mouse when you arrived, but you've been the team's captain since 2019. It's amazing to hear you speak. And you were the last men's captain to ever lead the team out at Goodison Park. We've got to say an injury meant you had to step off the field in the first half, and it was an agony to watch. Because you're a player who has come to embody the entire defiant spirit of Goodison Park, to be candid, Séamus.
The entire spirit of Everton. Thank you.
There you are. It's
Thank
my
you.
ventriloquist. Can you put into words what it felt like to walk off that turf where you become you spent your whole adult life as a professional playing there. What did it feel for you personally stepping off that final time?
Yeah, listen, ideally I would have played longer in the game, but the most important thing that day for me was walking out with my kids. They mean everything to me, and don't know why every time I speak of my kids I get emotional, but anyway, walking out with my kids was everything to me that day, and obviously I was gutted for James as well, who led the team so well all season, that he didn't get to play in that game. But yeah, just last time at Goodison was emotional for everyone, and I think it'll take some while to get used to. But listen, to climb forward as a football club, I think the new stadium is very exciting.
God bless. I mean, Goodison Park was our home for 133 years. I will say one of my favourite modern moments, February 2023. Everton were on a bit of a dart run. I think we'd had 1 win in 10 games, but who's counting? Yeah, we were in 18th place, but who cares? We'd lost the derby a couple of days before, and in came Leeds to Goodison Park. My God, we needed this. We needed this so badly. Everything felt lost, I'm going to be candid. And then second half, Séamus, you just decided, you know what? I'm going to run onto a long ball from Alex Iwobi, bless him. And I'm going to go and do this.
Shot, you know me.
That look on your face right there, you show every single human emotion in that moment.
Yeah, listen, it was a big goal. Tarkowski's asking Illy if it was a cross or a shot.
Were you really asking that?
Always wind him up.
Illy, what was your answer?
You know the answer.
Yeah, it's a shot.
Ask Jordan Pickford if he ever gets speaking to him. I've done it to him a few times. So. No, listen, it was a once in a lifetime hit. You know, the keeper did have history of kind of standing off his line a bit, but listen, I could try that another 1,000 times, not going in, but it just worked on the day, and thankfully, you know, it was a big goal for us that season, and yeah.
Again, I don't like to be hyperbolic. It's like watching Luke Skywalker send a torpedo down the Death Star. But Todd, what do you remember about that moment? Because it was like a human madness.
Be nice.
I think when I seen him going down the line, I'm thinking, don't cross it, there's no one in the box. But I'm also thinking, don't shoot because you're not going to score. And somehow I seen the net ripple and was confused as anyone else in the stadium. But no, I know it was a shot. He's been humble. He's done it a few times. And yeah, it was a big goal in that game in that time of year.
Second best goal I've seen in modern period in Goodison Park. After one of yours, Illy. We're in this era, the new stadium. It is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and it feels transformative. It's like Clark Kent being like, sod that, I'm getting rid of the glasses, I'm going to be Superman from now on. And I know a lot of the young players have spent time at the new stadium. You've walked the field, you looked at that south stand, that steep 34.99 degrees, vertigo-inducing reality, which will have 14,000 Evertonians. Like, you're all professionals. Like, ultimately, you've seen it all, you've done it all. Like, as fans, it's a different experience. But as footballers, the levels of energy, the prospect of playing there, can you talk about what it feels like in this moment?
Yeah, it's very exciting for everyone. Yeah, we're hoping that it's the start of a better time for us. We've got to obviously be patient with all of that as well. It's not just going to change overnight, but yeah, we've got to be excited. I think it's going to be incredible, you know, to have, you know, 52,000 Evertonians. You know, it's going to be loud, and people are often say, well, the atmosphere will be the same, but you know, you bring Evertonians anywhere and it's going to be loud, so it's going to be very exciting.
James, can you talk about like the prospect of playing there for you? What that feels like in that stadium with that fan base in a new reality?
I just think we probably want to recreate the Goodison atmosphere and take it somewhere else. Even before my time at Goodison, as a player, as an Everton player, I always loved going playing there. So it was a special place to go and play football, and hopefully that atmosphere carries on into the new stadium.
Godspeed from your mouth to God's ear. I mean, Séamus, I want to say you're a hardened professional. You've seen fire, you've seen rain. New manager, new owners, new front office, new stadium. The competitive fire burns for you. Still 17 seasons in with 1,000 suns, the heat of. If you were to put into words for Everton fans what lies ahead, what would you say?
I think we've suffered long enough now. We need to start thinking better things ahead. But like I touched on, we've been through a lot. Obviously, the last 3 years. I feel like we've been steadied now with the manager. We've got to be excited, like Tarky said earlier. We have to be excited, but we have to be patient as well and bring in players that want to play for Everton Football Club and understand what it means, and we'll be on the right track.
Which is I mean, it's beautiful and it does deserve applause. But I want to ask you, there was delirium when it was announced that you'd signed a new contract. It was the 9th contract that you'd signed as a Blue. There's no photo of him signing it because he was actually on holiday when he signed it, I think. Is that true?
That was, yeah.
But it is incredible. 17 seasons at Everton Football Club. I mean, if your career was a person, it would be driving by now. David Moyes said in this moment, he said he wanted you at the club, this is his quote, to help deliver the messages of what it means to be an Everton footballer. In your own words, Séamus, what does that mean to you? What does playing for Everton truly mean?
Listen, it's the only, I don't want to say it's my club, it's everyone's club, but it's the only club I know, and it means everything to me. Listen, I came over here as a young boy, and the club looked after me. I broke my leg playing for Ireland. The club looked after me, and it means everything to me. I live in the city, so over years I've understood what it means to the people, and I think that's been the biggest thing for me, what it means to the people. And I've often said I'm very happy that I've lived in the city because I can relay that message to the lads. But honestly, these boys here now as well, like they're leading the show as well now, and they understand what it means to play for Everton Football Club, which I feel in some way I've done my job, you know.
Last question for you. When you've seen it all with Everton, you've given it your all. You've lived every single human emotion. When you do finally hang up your boots, I hope in about 10 years, what do you want people to say, to tell their kids about when they saw Séamus Coleman play for the Blues?
I think what everyone would want, you know, Evertonians to say about them. You know, no matter how I played, I gave my all, and the club came first. And I know it's cliche, but the results in the club and how we were performing meant more to me than my own results or my own performance at the time. But I just want them to remember someone that cared. I suppose that's it.
Séamus Coleman, I do want to raise my point to you. You're honestly one of the rare footballers who's come to embody the entire club that they play for. Think of Prince, you think of Minneapolis, you think of Bruce Springsteen, you think of New Jersey, you think of Spike Lee, you think of New York, and you think of Séamus Coleman, and you think of the entirety of Everton Football Club. To you, to the club, to more together, with eternal thanks, mate. New York City, give it up for Séamus Coleman. Gents, stay upstanding, because before we go, we want to make a memory of this night. Before you exit, the gents are going to join me at the front of the stage. Get on your feet. Have our photographer come up. We're going to take a photograph that'll last forever. New York City, show us your scarves. Can we hear it again? New York City, James Tarkowski, Iliman Ndiaye, Séamus Coleman. Guys, I gotta tell you, here's the highlight of the show. It's some important Christopher Ward information. Who's won the watch? The quite beautiful Christopher Ward Everton collab, the Goodison. We're going to reveal, I've got to say I own one. It's got a little bit of the Goodison turnstile baked into the casement. And when I look at it, it reminds me of all the time I've spent in that beautiful place. For the moment we've all been waiting for, the winner of the Goodison is Mark Timothy. God bless. Mark Timothy, congratulations. I hope that watch gives you all the joy it's given me. You can get it from the Christopher Ward table. God bless you. It's right there for you. For me, I want to thank Christopher Ward for making this night possible. Let's give a big round for them. Because they've allowed us to come and celebrate this football moment together. I want to move on and bring on our final guest tonight. A gent who's the single most transformational Everton manager of my lifetime. I'm going to say the absolute high point in this calendar year was on a January Monday when it was announced he'd be returning as Everton's manager for the second time. This gent has been such a crucial part of Everton's past, and now he's an integral part of its future. And I don't like to be hyperbolic, but he's a leader our entire globe, our entire planet needs right now. He's honest, he's emotionally intelligent, he's tenacious in equal measure. Above all, he's a soulful gentleman who understands Everton. He understands us better than we understand ourselves. It's an honour, it's a pleasure to say, New York City, give it up for Mr. David Moyes!
Great.
David Moyes, welcome to New York City.
Thank you very much. That's it.
I'm not going to lie, I've got to tell you, today was 98 degrees. And all day I've just been worried about you and the SPF of your suntan lotion all day, David.
The docs looked after me today, got my cream on.
Got my cream on.
I've had to coach with sunglasses on and a hat on to try it, but it was the best I could do.
I'm not going to lie, I've seen you in your sunglasses, and I don't know if we got a photo of your sunglasses, but you look like one proper hard bastard. By the way, that is a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah.
What is your favourite things about being in America, David? Because I know you love it here. I know you spent a lot of time here. I know you've thought about football here.
Mm-hmm. I do. We're really fortunate. We used to always come on holiday, go to Florida, like a lot of the Brits did, and take their kids there. But the ones who've been around the club for a long time and will understand it, we used to bring the team here years ago. I think we've done Houston for the first time. And since then, we've had Salt Lake City, we've had all over America, really, at different times. So, yeah, we have. So we've had so many good times over here, and lots of good nights out as well, I've got to say.
And please God, lots of great nights to come. But I want to go back to January. You returned to Everton after almost 12 years away. Honestly, for me, this was like Noel and Liam Gallagher reunited, but even bigger. Everton's season to that point had been a struggle. I mean, this was we were languishing just above I think Kenny Loggins calls it the danger zone. Yeah. Goals, confidence, short supply. Spoiler alert, everything changed. The goals flowed. 9-game unbeaten streak. Can you tell us now, from inside, the secrets? What changed? Was it tactical? Or was it mental? How did you do it?
Well, at the time when I got the opportunity to come back, it was never in doubt that I wanted to do it. And actually, no, I'll probably tell the stories later on that we'd been offered the opportunity to come back a couple of times, but it always fell through for different reasons. But I had been offered another couple of Premier League jobs just before Sean lost his job, and I never expected it to happen. I really didn't. I thought that it wouldn't have happened at the time, but it did. And when the opportunity came around, it was the only one which I would have any interest in, to be honest, because I had left West Ham and I didn't really know, and I wasn't that bothered about if I went back or not. Great, but Everton was the only one which sort of made me think that I've still got a bit more work to do.
But you arrived. Let me ask you this way. Final home game of Goodison, that 2-0 win against Southampton that we celebrated earlier with Billy. You said something truly beautiful. So, by the way, you're so bloody good at quotes. You're so... I've got to tell you, I have in my house, I've got a couch that's just got embroidered scatter cushions just with David Moyes quotes on it. You said the following. You said, this club felt to me like one big family, but it looked broken, felt broken, and it doesn't feel like that anymore. Now, David, these were the same players, same squad. The football was just different. Beto, goals for the ages. Jake O'Brien, the player of our dreams. Iliman Ndiaye. I mean, he's a rhapsodic bard. And the only change, when I look at it, the only variable, and you don't want to hear this and you won't like this, was you and your management team. And we say this in these moments, football is all about the players. But, even in your humility that won't let you take any credit at all, how do you explain the difference you made with that emotional return?
Well, I think I would know Everton as well as a lot of people. Maybe not people who've followed Everton all their life, but because I've had a chance to work inside it, I knew I didn't know exactly what every supporter needs, but I knew what the club needed. Obviously, what we needed to do was fix it, and there was signs that it was going to be fixed. They were talking about, so the Friedkins had just come in, and I had the feeling that this was going to be an opportunity for me to see if I could try and get it back on track the best we could. Let's be fair, this club is far too big, far too good to be going through the years where it's done. But it has been a situation, and it's still going to take a bit of time for us to sort of figure it out. But the biggest thing was, I'm saying, if I come back to Everton and I get relegated with the team, I am finished. You know, what I mean? Any legacy I might have had in the past was gone completely if it was the case. So the gamble was, could I keep them up? And generally I'm thinking, how could we keep them up? So what I was incredibly pleasantly surprised with the players, what they were like. I actually was. And actually I'd had a conversation with Séamus and Bainsy came up to the house, and I said to them that I was talking about, tell me what's happening, and they actually made it really easy for me. Probably Séamus and Bainsy were the one who sort of knocked me over the edge that we could come back and do it again. And I hope that is the case, because both of them were really powerful in what they said about the club and what they wanted and how it was. So great to be back.
What did they say?
Yeah. Well, Séamus felt that look, let's be fair, he's walked out the door, Séamus now, but Séamus has carried the club probably for the last 3 years or 4 years. So, and no, Bainsy was more away from it, but obviously he knew all about it. So they had given me a few ideas of how they saw it working and what they thought would need to do, and they thought there was a lot of easy wins, and they meant wins by, the players were sort of needing a new challenge and something different. But I was really surprised about the character within inside the dressing room. Séamus is unbelievable. He digs the players out. He lets them away with nothing. They've got. He really is. He's fantastic. But even Ashley Young was brilliant as well. Ashley Young was great, and then so these boys made going in easy. But then I looked at the fixture list. I think it was Aston Villa, Brighton. I'm going, my goodness, where are we going to get the points from? You know what I mean? I'm saying, I was like that, shutting my eyes, saying. But after we get the first one out the way, it was sort of, we got a home run near enough right away, because we got a few wins, and it started to make the job a lot easier, because it made it look as if, I'm not saying it was early, we were free of relegation, but it felt as if we'd got the job done quite quickly.
God bless. It's all I can do to not go like this.
Yeah.
I want to get fined. But can I say, you've had so many incredible moments as manager in your career. You swept into Everton the first time round and made this what we always were, but it needed your words, the people's club. You won a European trophy with West Ham. Where did this last half season rank for you as an achievement in terms of the pleasure and the pride that you derive from it?
Absolutely huge. I'm telling you, because look, when I came back, I didn't really know what reception I would get. I had left, but I've got to say, everywhere I walked up the street, every Evertonian would always walk up to me and we'd talk about the past and things before, and everybody was really good to me, but you just never know how it was going to be. And I have to say, the reception I've got coming back was incredible, and the reception I've had since has been amazing. It really is. And I don't take that for granted. You have to earn it. We have to keep going. We've had a brilliant second half to the season. We really have. Can we continue it now and pick up, improve it?
That is the question. But I do want to say what joy you've given. I think all of us, I don't like to speak for all of us, but I will. The joy we feel seeing you on the sideline, the emotions that you emanate. We're in a world in which a Premier League manager, that role is harder and more demanding, honestly more unforgiving than ever. You just seem to be having a total blast with these Blues. You're age 62. I'm 40 years older than you, so I can ask you this question. How young do you feel? What age are you in your own mind, David?
Well, I always hope that the best is still to come. I've just won a European trophy. I want the Yeah. Hey, I don't plan to be around forever doing the job. I really don't. I don't want to be in my grave because I've been on the touchline too long. But I want to come back and I want to make sure that moving into the new stadium, hopefully the club getting away from the position we're in, starting to look towards getting back to where we were within the past. I think that's what I want to do. I want to try and get us back more like maybe when the club I left is completely different to the club we've taken over now. And I have to find out how I can get it back on track a little bit. And I have to say that the players have been really, really good. They have been. And obviously we have to let people go, we have to change it around, etc. But the players that have been here have done a brilliant job in the last 6 months, they really have.
You were 38 years old when you joined Everton for the first time. Look at that.
I might maybe dye it back ginger.
You just said, do I have to dye it back ginger? When you look at that, what do you see?
I remember a really young and inexperienced manager in some way, and it was great credit to Everton to choose me to be the manager at that time, because Everton could have the pick of so many managers. And, for the people, I've probably told you this before, Roger, but, I took over from Walter Smith, who was actually a really close friend and a mentor, really. And even the day I got offered the job, that evening when Walter had lost his job, I went round to his house and knocked the door, and he took me in and he says, "Oh, you've got to take the Everton job. It's a great job." He says, he had so much dignity in how he spoke. And, quite often managers, when they lose their job, they're really bitter. But Walter was the exact opposite. He was encouraging me to take the job. And there it was, a young manager who called it the People's Club, and I don't know where that came from.
Do you not? Do you really have no idea where that came from?
Sorry?
By the way, the People's Club is like a scene in Mad Men. It's like brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like you putting your hand into the soul of Everton Football Club and pulling out and being, here you are. We're like, oh my God. Yeah. You don't know where. Do you really not know where that came from?
No, do you know, I'm not that clever to know that I could work that out. I really couldn't. But
I mean, your emotional intelligence is sky high, David Moyes.
I was driving into Liverpool when I was going to do my first press conference, and it was the evening, and it was a Thursday because I was going to have to start the job on the Friday morning, and we're driving in, and it was quite nice. And all the kids in Liverpool looked as if they were wearing Everton shirts. All I could see was Everton shirts as I was driving in. And it made me think that, my goodness, everybody supports Everton. Everybody in Liverpool supports Everton. And it was just something that the night, maybe stupidity or something, and I said, it's the People's Club. And it was it seemed to touch a note somewhere. Yeah.
Can I just ask you, what would 62-year-old David Moyes say to that guy, 38-year-old David Moyes, that you think he'd need to know now if you could go back in time?
Yeah. Well, as you get older, you get a bit wiser and you come a bit more mellow. I think when I was younger then, you didn't have carry so much baggage. And I mean by that is, there's media, there's things you say, there's people looking for so much more now. At that time, I didn't really care. And actually, somebody reminded me, I don't know if the ones who remember the first game, and I was going to, I don't know if it was Jesper Lindström came off, and he sort of came off and he was, sultry and that, and he threw a bottle down. He threw a water bottle down when he came off. And I went up to the back of the dugout and I says, "You do that again, you're getting it." You know what I mean? And that was it. It was a sort of, it was a way. But for all the ones who do know, when you're a young manager like that, I had to walk into the dressing room with David Ginola, Paul Gascoigne, Big Duncan, Tommy Gravison. I'm thinking, oh my. So when I look back, I don't know how I get through the day, just introducing myself. But they were, because they were all extremely seasoned players, top players, they're probably saying, who's this guy walking in here? And but thankfully, it all went pretty well, and we moved on from there.
Can I just ask you, you were one of, you already told the story with the Jesper Lindstrom water bottle. You're one of the most pugnacious 30-year-olds I have ever met in football. By the way, can we put that photo up again? Can we go back to that? Because it is, I see no difference. That's like Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man there. What would 38-year-old David Moyes think of 62-year-old Moisey?
The 38-year-old think of 62. I think I would look and say, getting old, that guy's still at it though. And I find myself now that I want to be the young man. I want to keep it going as hard as I can. I think now to keep up with there's loads of really good coaches out there, young coaches, lots of different ideas, different ways of doing things. So the job is to try and keep matching it, trying to keep challenging them. And longevity is something which is really difficult in the Premier League. The Premier League has had some of the most outstanding managers really want to manage in the Premier League. But there's a lot of them don't do the journey, or they don't seem to sort of stick it out too long. So I think having longevity in it, I think, is a bit of a success. But in the same breath, to be successful, then we want to win things as well. And we want to be successful if we possibly can be.
I think 38-year-old David Moyes would look at 62-year-old David Moyes and be like, my God, those sunglasses. He's a proper hard bastard. Transfer windows bubbling and gurgling. I do wake up every single morning, and I've got to say, I get out of bed every single morning. I love my children, but my first thought every morning is, please tell me we've re-signed Marouane Fellaini. Oh, God, look at it. Look at that. By the way, I used to have hair like that. I did. But one gent I can't wait to watch, 22-year-old French striker, Tayern Obari. Yeah. Look at him. By the way, in about 20 years, please God, I'll be on a stage in New York with him showing that photo. He'll still be a blue. I'll be like, 20 years, where's it gone? Yeah. He's a goal-scoring sensation. He's from Villarreal. He's a big boy, 6'5". He's Erling Haaland-sized. But he's also good with the ball at his feet. He can get in behind. And I heard this signing, like all of you, I'm like, oh my God, we've got a biblical lineage of Barrys. I'm like, Barry Horn, Gareth Barry, now Tierno. Can you tell us what you've seen in training, what we can expect from this human being?
Well, I've only seen him. He trained with us really with the team for the first time yesterday, because when he'd been away with the French under-21s at the European Championships, so he only came back on Monday. He had a couple of days training, Monday, Tuesday, and we flew out on Wednesday, and he trained with us yesterday. So it's really the first time we've seen him live, if you want to say that. I think what you see, I mean, look, we've not paid 70 million for a striker, which is the sort of going rate for the normal striker at the moment. So we've bought a young centre forward with potential. He's a very humble boy. He works really hard for the team. So I hope he'll fit in. We'll give him a little bit of breathing space to settle. But we're looking forward to he scored some good goals. So he'll join Beto in competition for playing up front.
God bless. Let's hear it for Beto. I love that man. Can I ask you, David, not to go too Fabrizio Romano on you, but what do you want the key pillars of Everton DNA to look for in the next chapter? What's the profile of the player you're looking for to help enable that?
Well, the people, I want them all to have Séamus Coleman's character. I want them to have his commitment and his desire. So, look, we always want Everton players who can carry out those duties, because we see it as hugely important. What we're having to find now is where do we find that? It's not an easy thing to find out. People grow into it. And Séamus, when he first came in from Ireland, for example, he had to see the seniors there working, from Alan Stubbs and Davy Weir and all the people around those time and moving on. So he's picked it up. Even Phil Neville and all the people who've were at the club, Tim Cahill, all those boys. And Séamus has been the one who's carried it on. So we're now trying to feed that back. He's got to feed that back into the new boys coming in. So, look, we really want great character at Everton, but we also we need to improve the quality of what we've got. We need to improve. We probably have to sign about 9 or 10 players before the start of the season.
Certainly feel an incredible desire to get you off stage as quickly as possible. There's work to be done. So I want to move to that future. Because the last time we spoke, February, after the Derby win, everyone was bubbling, everything was euphoria. And you were like, yeah, I'm not going to the new stadium because we're not mathematically safe from relegation. Yeah. Which I loved and admired and was very David Moyes. When you did finally go and get a first-hand look at the new home, what was it like for you to experience? What did that emotionally? What did you feel?
The new stadium, yeah. Well, the first time I went down was maybe about a month before the end of the season. We'd just got ourselves safe, and I says, well, it's now time to go down. The new stadium is amazing. It really is amazing. And I went inside, and they said, put on the Doc Martens, put on your hard hat, and yellow bib. I'm saying I thought it was finished. But there was. so we got in, and obviously there was still a lot of work inside getting done. But I have to say, the bit for you supporters in the main was all complete, and it's the viewing. The steepness of the bank behind the goal. Some of you may have already been in at one of the test events, but so it's going to be really good to see how it looks when it's full with all the supporters in it. It'll be amazing.
I mean, you said something beautiful about your first spell at Goodison Park. You said the most formative memory was, quote, the first day I arrived and walked out onto the Goodison field. Yeah. So if you let yourself think about August 24th, Everton's first home game in the Premier League, it's our opener there. Have you visualised it? Have you thought about emotionally how that will feel for you? Because it is, I mean, it's more than a new venue. It's more than a new stadium. It's like a symbol of ambition, a sense of possibility.
Yeah, I've not really thought of the moment of doing that yet, but I have thought about how we make it like Goodison as much as we can. So Goodison, for everybody to say, was the compactness, people on top. Teams didn't like coming to Goodison ever, and it was mainly because of what the supporters brought. So what we've got to do is try and find a way that we make it as close to Goodison as we possibly can. I've got to say, I think that they've done a great job. I think they've listened to a lot of the supporters on the building, etc. And they've made it as compact as I think you could probably get it in modern day football. It's fabulous. We had a friendly game on Tuesday against Port Vale. It was the first time we'd been in the stadium on the pitch, and it was a big thrill for the players to get on it, and it was very good.
As a club, as a fan base, how do we find the balance between respecting the past without being kind of confined by it?
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer the question correctly, but what I would say is, ever since I've been at the club, we've always been longing a new stadium. And I always hoped I hope they rebuild Goodison. I hope they put an end on it, Goodison, and they build it up, or they do something. That's what I really wanted. But I think when I look back and you see where they are now, I think that if we didn't do it, we wouldn't be able to get the facilities we need, the more corporate areas we need, all the things which is coming from football. It's iconic site. It will be an iconic building. And it's no doubt probably going to be a stadium which will host a European final. Maybe not a Champions League final, but certainly one of the other ones, I think, in the future.
And please God, Everton will be in it. But yeah. I thought that's where you were going. Yeah. 9 or 10 new players. Just saying. I want to close out by talking about this club. We have been a tenacious, scrappy, never say die club, a real collective, passion of the fans. Honestly, it's been as precious as oxygen, and I felt that tonight being with you. But this stadium is a chance to almost complete a transformation, to reclaim the Everton of my youth, the Everton that competed to win, the Everton you took into the Champions League. God, Kalina, you bastard.
Kalini. All those baldies, eh?
Hey, what are you talking about? But I have seen Everton glory with my own eyes, and I've seen you win, David. I mean, I'll be candid, one of my favourite moments in football 2 years ago when you won the Europa Conference League. I spoke to you right afterwards. You won with West Ham. You are one of the most human leaders in football. Watching you celebrate with your own dad, watching you embrace him on the sideline. Look at that. Look at putting your winner's medal around your own father's neck. David, I love that photograph. I love that image.
I hope I'm not looking at him later on. That's the worry.
I mean, I could ask you, what would it take for Everton, for Evertonians to experience that kind of joy, David?
Well, look, it has to be something which we get back to. The early days, we were competitive in Europe. When I say probably, I don't know how many years we made, 4 or 5 years we were in Europe at different times since when we were there, maybe more. And I think the best, if you remember the game against Fiorentina, we lost in penalty kicks, the quarter final, and that would have been probably were best. We'd lost 2-0 over there, we beat them 2-0 at home. And,
Mikel Arteta was playing for us.
I think Mikel missed the penalty.
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did.
He did miss it. I remember being in the bar watching that game in New York City. I was like, he won't miss.
Yeah.
It's Mikel Arteta. He's our best player.
Yeah.
He did miss. Can I just tell you, this is a complete tangent. I don't understand how Mikel Arteta became an Arsenal legend. He played far more games for us. But I'm going off on a tangent. Keegan, the Fiorentina game, those days, those glory days.
Those days of Europe were brilliant. And I remember the first time we got to Europe, we drew Nuremberg. And the support we had in Nuremberg was unbelievable. It really was. And then, so it was, and there might have been a lot of people in here who went to Nuremberg, you know what I mean? But there you go. But that was it. And look, there's a thing about sort of getting on the European tour. So the plan's to try and find a way of us, by hook or by crook, sort of getting to that level. You know, I hope we can do it. I have to. The year I know we were in COVID, but when I'd gone back to West Ham and we came from behind and we ended up finishing 6th in the league to get in Europe. I don't see why we shouldn't be attempting that. I'm not saying we can get it done, but we've got to.
I just say, listening to you, being with you, I mean, hearing you speak makes me believe in the club's aspiration of its dreams. The stadium is how the club wants to be seen by the rest of the league, the rest of the world. I mean, we're talking about a chance to redefine what Everton is, what it can be. So last question to you, David. Can you speak directly to Everton supporters? The ones in this room, the ones watching around the world, and just tell them what we should expect this season in our new home and in the years to come.
Well, let me say, first of all, you know, it's a pleasure for me to be back and a privilege as well, I have to say, because it's to come back to the club where I really I started at Preston, but really Everton was the club where I sort of made my early days in my way in football, really. But it has to be, it's more than that for me now, because I can't be here forever, so I need to make sure that I get the club certainly going in the right direction, certainly in a much better place. This year, I'd really like to build on what we've done even in 6 months, because probably in the 6 months, I think we would have finished maybe 7th or 8th in the Premier League on what we've done. Now, it's actually quite sad that, and I'm not saying this that we're clapping at that, But I think you're clapping at that because of what's come over the last 3 or 4 years or more. So we now need to all get back to getting ourselves back near the top. Look, I hate using the word promise, but I promise that we'll be trying to get really good players into the club in the next few weeks. We've been trying all summer, and we expect to do that. So we're going to look to bring in a lot of new players. We're getting good support from the Friedkins and the people behind the scenes as well. But it's not been easy because most of the level of the players they want to be in Europe, and we're not in Europe yet. So this is why we have to find a way of how we're going to get there. How can we get there without having all the top players? But we're going to have to try and get there the best we can. But I'm really confident that moving into a new stadium, I think it's what every Evertonian's been wanting for years. They've been waiting on it, waiting on the moment. And it's never easy when you move to a new stadium, but I've got a feeling that the crowd will make the difference. So let's hope so.
David Moyes.
Yes.
I want to thank you. I hope you feel the love in this room for you tonight, the gratitude, the just joy we've felt in your return. I want to toast all that is to come. We Blues are lucky to have you. You're a man who leads with his heart, his head, a sense of inspirational honesty. I say in our world of chaos, all of those are too rare. I watch you with real awe how you lead. Ralph Waldo Emerson, I think he would have been a proper Blue. He once said, our chief is someone we want who will inspire us to be who we know we could be. And I've got to say, when I look at you, David, that is who you are. And I want to thank you for the joy you brought to my life, to our family, to thousands of Evertonians across the world. New York, let's hear it for your manager, Mr. David Moyes.
Thank you.
Do it again for David Moyes! Guys, I want to thank you all for sharing this night with us. Come and have a pint with me at the Brass Monkey. We'll sign everything. 55 West 12th Street. It's 5 minutes walk away. Before we end, I want to just say, I want to thank everyone at Everton who's made this possible. Scott McLeod, Mo Maggs, Helen Clark, 3 giant-hearted wonders. I want to thank the players, St. David Moyes, and above all, I want to thank you, my fellow Everton fans. We've dreamed, we've yearned, at times we've suffered, we've celebrated, we are here, we are still alive. We stand here in the midst of a pivotal summer. New stadium, new energy, new future. Honestly, we're crawling into a chrysalis. We will emerge like a butterfly with a pathway of hope renewed. It feels so good to feel so bloody good again. Let's tap into that. It's all we've yearned for. I just say, why not us? Everton Football Club. Beto heading the ball down to Barry to nod in to deliver all we've yearned for. Everton Football Club fans, God bless your courage. Thank you very much. Good night. Up the top.